Good morning. I am Tina Tasaka with Cannabis X America, and we are here at the Cannabis Banking Symposium in Bernalillo, New Mexico at the Santa Ana Star Casino.
Yeah, let's go. This has been
let's
awesome.
Go. It has
Amazing
been
event.
often.
It really is.
It really has been.
Yep.
And talk about awesome. I am sitting with a man named Kevin Hart.
Well, sorry to disappoint you.
So
I didn't bring the
he
jokes.
thinks he's going to get a media spotlight, but what we're really going to do is make him tell jokes. I'm just teasing.
No, we'll skip that part.
So I do want to ask this nice gentleman here, you have a name like Kevin Hart. So when you get people on the phone, is there a little bit of a, are they stunned for a second?
I get comments, as you would expect, all the time, and you'd be amazed how many drunken phone calls I actually get, about once a week. Somebody
like what?
Me,
Tell us one.
Can you sing happy birthday to my daughter, which is, really common, or I have a great script and I think you would love it. And, I don't know why they think they got his phone number, but they're calling me. So I'm generally polite and just say, you have the wrong one, but thank you.
Are you in the phone book?
No, I don't know how they find me. I really don't. It's hysterical.
I think it's maybe teenagers or randos just crank calling, going, "Hey, let's do some pranks on Kevin Hart."
It could be. The other thing is, what does happen is I make my own travel arrangements and restaurants, and so I'll go someplace and I'll go to check in for a large party, 10 or 12, and I'll go to the desk and say, "Hi, I'm here for I'm Kevin Hart for the party," and they're like, "Are you his driver? Are you his money man or something?" I'm like, No, I'm him. And, sometimes you see the table move to right over by the bathroom because everybody's disappointed.
So I had to travel with a man named Tom Selleck.
Oh.
This goes back about, this would be early 90s when we were doing the Hilton account. We were doing their hotel software across the nation. And I'm telling you, I would be the first one to arrive at the hotel. And then Tom Selleck would have, his reservation. And I'd say, "Has Tom Selleck arrived?" And they're like,
Funny.
And it would go on forever.
Right.
And anyway, it was funny. It was, they were always caught off guard. And he was a real tall guy with white hair, and it was always funny. But anyway, but we definitely want to get on and talk about what you guys do. I mean, we are here at the Cannabis Banking Symposium, and I would say that the two main thrusts here, of course, have been, banking. How can we make banking safer? How can we make lending better? How can we get cash off the floor? What tools do we have in our toolbox, right? Green Check, you guys have so many great tools, you've got a platform for the cannabis industry, and I was stunned how many customers you have. So, Kevin, please tell our viewers, what does Green Check offer to the cannabis industry?
So we created a single platform, and it is meant for the cannabis businesses to be able to integrate and work directly with financial institutions across the country. And it doesn't matter the type of license, doesn't matter the maturity of the business from a life cycle perspective on the cannabis side. And certainly geography shouldn't play an issue for it. So the goal was all the time, and you said it the right way when you were talking about it, whether you realize it or not. You said banking cannabis. The verb is what matters here. The noun cannabis is critical. But when I first started the company, and I had some great team members and co-founders, et cetera, and our 8th birthday was just this week, so we've been incorporated for 8 years.
Nice.
We really focused on, it's a demand and a supply problem. So the demand, when we started in 2015, it was in 13 states. It was $3 billion. But you could see the trajectory, and everybody talked about how it was going to grow. And they've hit those numbers pretty much on a growth perspective. But where was the supply? Where were the financial institutions that are going to raise their hand and say, "I'll do this"? And so we realized very early on we had to create the capability, but the education that you can do this, and there's a good reason for you to do it. And when you can get those two things aligned within a financial institution, they will in turn want to know how. And that's what we always set out to build, the how, and to make that a scalable enterprise class because of the compliance and because of regulatory environment and because of scrutiny, an enterprise class technology platform.
Yeah, scrutiny, scrutiny, scrutiny. That's all we hear. Scrutiny, scrutiny, scrutiny.
Well, compliance is key.
Totally key. I mean, we know of course, we know it's one of the most highly regulatory and compliant businesses in the world alongside gaming and banking. Banking was mentioned, of course, but gaming wasn't mentioned, but we know gaming is too. We're sitting right here in a casino.
Who said we don't do gaming?
Oh, you guys do gaming, of course. Yeah, excellent, excellent.
Our customers are asking for that all the time.
Excellent.
Because compliance is compliance. High-risk businesses are high-risk businesses.
That's right.
So when we started Green Check, it wasn't to be cannabis only. It was, you look at the future and you can see where cannabis was going, where gaming was going, where social trends were going. Certainly stablecoin, not crypto, stablecoin, big difference. Everybody's got it. Don't use those words as the same. Where that was going to go. And so, part of our ethos always has been, and, the hallmark of a good enterprise software company is begin with the end in mind. And, how do you stay in front of customers and how do you meet their demands? And how do you help them to scale and grow at the pace and cadence that they're comfortable with, which is also critical.
Right. So on your platform, what are some of the main things that you do? If you were to, I guess, modulize them.
Well, we do think about it that way, but it is just one platform. We don't. I've never been a fan of pricing based upon different products and modules.
I'm with you on that.
You go to a different state, you have to pay a different price, et cetera. It's one price. Everybody basically pays the same price unless you're a much larger account, because then that becomes punitive. So we try not to make sure that their success costs them more. But the first thing you have to do is look at it from an account onboarding perspective. Is this a compliant business? Now, every FI has their own set of rules and regulations, policies, procedures, risk assessments, et cetera. So we created a really dynamic workflow that encompasses best practices, but allows them the latitude for the things that they need to do. And it also directs the pace and cadence of the information within the financial organization. And then the next layer down, you open the account, wonderful, okay? But now you have to monitor the account. Just opening it is not the answer. And this really is the secret sauce in the central nervous system of Green Check. It's about our compliance rules engine. So we break down every single transaction that comes in to the single dollar level. And again, data is key for everything from a decisioning. So we do that. So we created our own API engine. We integrate to this point of sale systems, and there are a lot of different point of sale systems.
There
in
really
cannabis.
are.
Too many.
Yes.
Okay. God bless those folks, but they have their struggles. Seed to sale. And then we also look at their financial systems. So we triangulate that data based upon the activity to make sure that that cannabis business is operating to the rules and regulations outlined for them at the license level, at the product level, at the person level, at the payment level. Because the challenge for financial institutions, and you hear about reputational risk, et cetera, they not only have to adhere to their policies and procedures, but they have to know they're letting good money in and keeping the bad money out. That is my summary statement for it, to make it simple. And they need to do that before the money enters the financial system, not after the fact, not in some post-review process. Because as you heard here, the examiners, they don't care if you had, you discovered the problem. Why did the problem exist in the first place? So we're very maintenance focused or preventative growth focused, and those words oppose each other from a mental model, but they work together nicely. And then the next layer is account monitoring. Okay, now that you have transactions, you want to monitor the accounts. How are they doing? What's their health and wellness look like? What's their ongoing compliance score? Are they keeping up with the changes in the rules and regulations? You went from medical only to adult. You don't want to have to re-implement. You just want to be able to know the rules and regulations were applied. And that's where we come in. And then lastly, the thing that really ties it all together is portfolio management. And so we have a dashboard for all our customers, and then now they can self-direct and use it because of the technology that we provided. It allows them to manage their portfolio from not only reporting to the board, but how they're doing financially, what accounts should they be looking at, and because of that, now they can lend and offer their full suite of products and services smartly and intelligently to this whole new industry.
Who typically has access to the account within the company? Is it CFO, C-level?
From the CRB side or the FI side?
I would like to know both, actually.
Okay. Well, whoever's assigned an operating role and or a data inquiry role. So generally in the cannabis businesses, it's the people responsible for the financial performance. It could be the owner, operator. In a small one, some of the MSOs, obviously, they have different locations. They have different managers. We've automated the integration from the point of sale, so it just gets sucked out every night at a scheduled time, and we review all the transactions and we create the deposit ticket and that flow of information. But then on the FI side, it is a variety of people, because you have the folks that are doing the account opening, you have the people that are doing risk management, you have your treasury management people that want to see how the portfolio is performing. Board packaging and presenting that information back as a dedicated line of business. They may log in, they may not, but it creates that. And then, one of the other things that we did that has been super helpful for our FI partners is we allow them to give access to their examiners, log in. So if you want to see anything that's going on in the system, because you have your SARs and your CTRs, et cetera, all that's done. But if they want to drill down and look at a single transaction and see all that information, including everything that was used for account monitoring, license verification, ongoing bad news, et cetera, everything sits in one platform.
I think that's quite amazing that you've given access to the examiners.
We're nerds. You have to make it easier.
That is quite astounding, though. But you have such a comprehensive platform. That is just amazing. So now, as we wrap up today, being the last day here at the Banking Symposium, I know that you were a speaker on the panel. Leaving here today, where will you go from here? Will you go out? Will you go on to another banking conference in the fall? I know there's another big one coming up. Will you go to the big one? I think it's PBN or
PBC. We're there
okay.
every year.
Okay.
We've been there every year.
And that's a real key one for you guys as well.
It is. It's very.
Okay.
It's great, and it's great for us because over half the financial institutions that go there, they're green check customers.
Yeah.
So it's great to see everybody in one spot.
And then I'm curious with also with MJ BizCon on the horizon too. This year they're doing. You guys work a lot within Tribal. I've seen you work with Tribal. You did a lunch and learn with Tribal and with the ICIA, the Indigenous Cannabis Industry Association. They're doing something special this year. They're going to be at New Woo downtown. They're doing a whole marketplace for MJ BizCon, and I didn't know if that might be something on your radar.
We will be there. We were so honored to win the award from them for Best Banking Partner last year, and we want to make sure that we maintain that relationship. I have from my upbringing, from my father in particular, I have a very, very special affinity and desire to help that population as much as we possibly can.
That's so excellent, Kevin. Well, I think that's a great place for us to go ahead and wrap this up. I know we've got more panels to go to, and certainly this was a great way to talk about Tribal here. We're on Tribal land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Beautiful Tribal land.
Fantastic. Yeah. Kevin, it is so fantastic to talk to you, and we look forward to working with Green Check and talking more about you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming and talking to us.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers for sure. Tina Tasaka, Cannabis X America.